tonight, ambushed after work. Detroit police looking for a local nurse kidnapped after leaving her hospital shift.
What's going on, people? Today we got a story of a nurse being kidnapped outside of her job after working a long night shift by what was reported to be her ex-boyfriend. This story is straight out of Detroit, so if you're out in that area, shouts out to you and be safe. May 13, 2023, the day before Mother's Day, the mother of one boy, 29-year-old Patrice Wilson, was last seen clocking out after a long night shift at the Detroit Medical Center, but sadly enough, she never made it home. It was reported that her then ex-boyfriend, who knew her work schedule while being disguised in a blonde wig, 36-year-old Jameer Miller, met Patrice outside of her job at the end of her work shift. After Patrice got in her car, the mayor surprisingly jumped inside, gun in hand, and forced Patrice on the passenger side and shortly drove off. After a local TV interview, Patrice's mother said after their breakup, Patrice wanted nothing to do with Jameer. He would send her flowers and gifts outside her home, in which she would leave outside, sending the message that she was just no longer interested. Jameer, being a bit obsessive, took matters into his own hands, decided if he couldn't have Patrice, no one could. I just want to put it out there. If somebody tells you no, no means no. You can't force anybody to be with you under any circumstances. Don't end up like this guy. We got a lot of life to live, and we shouldn't be spending it running away or stalking somebody. Just move on. Later that night, May 13, 2023, Patrice Wilson was found outside her home in the trunk of her car with a gun wound. Within 24 hours of the crime, 36-year-old Jameer Miller, being the prime suspect, saw his face plastered all over the news. He quickly hired an attorney and turned himself in.
In this instance, she appears to have done everything the right way. She got out of the relationship, and unfortunately, the tragic outcome was his violence and his persistence to keep her in that relationship. So in this instance, this is someone who did what she could to separate herself from that situation. Unfortunately, though, these types of offenders don't take no for an answer, and more needs to be done to protect our victims. There's PPOs and things such as that, but we certainly like to see a lot more being done before someone else has to lose their life.
After turning himself in, authorities believe Jameer Miller may be also linked to a 2011 cold case of a missing woman named Bianca Green. The two shared a son together, and she was pregnant, expecting another. He even gave a statement at a Crime Stoppers public event holding their son in hopes of finding Bianca Green.
Giving a cry out to the nation because I need all the help that I can get in finding my daughter.
It's hard being a single father, and it's hard for me to even tell him what's going on with her. And then his birthday coming up April 18th, and it's gonna be the second one she went around.
Say, Mommy, we miss you.
Mommy, we miss you.
And we want you to come home.
And we want you to come home.
And we want God to bring you home.
And God to bring you home.
My condolences goes out to the families of both those young women, especially those two young boys having their mothers taken away from them, potentially by the same guy. Hopefully Bianca Green can return home safely. As for Patrice Wilson, she currently has a GoFundMe up in her name. Following this tragic situation, I'll leave a link in the description below. But until next time, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one. Be safe.